creating realistic resin water bases with convincing depth, natural movement, and a believable OSL reflection that will bring your miniatures to life. Hey guys, Lucky Walker here. Resin is so important to miniature painting because it provides the story that your miniature is in. It is so important to sell that immersion. So today I'm looking at resin bases which give a really nice water effect. In a lot of miniatures I see with resin, a lot of the time it looks like the miniature is just standing on the surface, is a bit disconnected. So I'm going to show you how to make some really nice resin bases with movement and with OSL of the surface reflections that a lot of people struggle with doing because it is basically a freehand. So got a few tricks and tips will really sell the effect, and you'll see this can be a lot easier. So the illusion starts long before the resin. Everything underneath has to sell the idea that this floor spent decades underwater. To start, I'm just spraying it with silver, adding some panel lining for definition, and painting the hazard stripes as if it has been above the surface brand new. Then I go in with things like dirty down verdigris and dirty down rust, along with pigments for moss and so on, and that will give the subsurface some really worn look to it. Don't forget that when you add the resin, it is going to darken the surface, so make everything a little bit brighter, or at least edge highlight so that you can see the defined objects. And one of the biggest tips I can give you is to get these silicone holders from Green Stuff World. These really help. You get a set full of different sizes. It's not that expensive, and it basically just means the model pops right into it. You pour the resin, you can then cure it inside it all. The alternative is to get some flexible plastic, sellotape it together. It's just not worth it. You will get leaks and it will not be as nice a finish. The resin that I'm using is just some Amazon bought UV curing resin. It's quick and it's easy. It doesn't need to be mixed, so you avoid bubbles. To sell the effect of the miniature going through the water, you want to cover a good ankle to knee depth. Now you'll notice that when you pull it out, the surface is completely flat, and this can work for some kind of moody, creepy, atmospheric pool, but in general water has movement and splashes. In my story of my squats, they're dredging through some relatively deep, quick flowing water, splashing, so I'm going to add ripples and splashes in around their ankles. And I do that by adding a little drop of UV resin, and then I get a toothpick and I begin to cure the resin while picking away using the toothpick. I took only work in one area at a time. That'll mean it doesn't all cure before you get textures and sculptures that you want in the water. You can also do some small ripple effects around whatever is submerged in the water. Remember the sense of scale. It's rare to see gigantic splashes to your waist. These splashes would be relatively small in comparison to your model. Now at this stage I like to tidy up the outside of the base. A lot of the time it may have not very nice a finish, or the side meniscus of the resin might actually be creating a little sharp edge. You can file this down or cut it with a scalpel and then basically go over it with painted resin or gloss, and that will smoothen it out and bring that to transparency. Now if you want, you can just leave it like that to give some definition to the ripples and splashes. I like to add in true metallic metal, sterling silver, white. This has a really nice transparency to it. It still has a little bit of sheen that catches the eye. It doesn't overpower water effects too much. And if you really want some extra definition, I would go in with some white ink for the very tips of the splashes, or even dabs on the leg to sell the effect. So now you've got some really nice resin bases with movement and ripples in them. But if you want to push it one step further, you can use some OSL. Now, surface reflections are quite difficult to do, but today we're going to make them super easy with some Vallejo true metallic metals. Now, these are good because the resulting finish is a nice silky sheen which will blend in with the surface of the water, but also the metallics will glimmer and shine as the model is moved, and this really sells the effect of surface reflections. So let's do it. Now for adding in the OSL, we're going to use Vallejo true metallic metals. To start, we're going to use the shade, and you dab that on in the region that you want the light to shine through. This is followed by the base and the light colour. Now what you want to remember is the surface of the water is moving, it is creating shadows in itself. So if you just do dabs, lines and blotches, but not a perfect circle, it will look much better and more realistic. It can be more painterly here. Don't forget to do some of the OSL in the model. If you make a mistake, get some water into it and wash it off quickly. Finally, I would use some sterling silver light mixed with some white ink for the really brightest parts. Just blotch that on and around. And there you have some incredible immersion with your OSL. This can be done with any colours. And that is how you make incredible resin bases that build a story for your miniature. I hope you liked the video. Please like and subscribe and share it. If it can help just one person, then that makes me really happy. To me, if you follow this tutorial, I would really like to see what you put out with it. With that, I'm going to leave you with some of the resin bases that I've made for my miniatures, and I hope you like them.
Na festa do fim de semana, só rolê bom. Ela chega e desencana com passo bem show. Na festa do fim de semana, só rolê bom. Ela chega e desencana com passo bem show.